Welcome to the After Chat. I'm Michael.
I'm Madison.
And today we're going to be talking about resolutions for 2025. Are you ready?
I sure am.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the After Chat. Real questions. Real talk. Real life.
All right. So what's the funniest thing you've ever heard in public? Like overheard.
So my husband lives in England. I was traveling, visiting him. We're long distance right now, but he's going to move here. There's the caveat I always have to give. It's not weird, I promise.
I've met him. He's a stand-up stellar guy.
He's real. I always feel like I'm like, he's just at a different school, guys.
George Glass from the Brady Bunch. I dated myself, but yes.
I tracked with you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was over there visiting him one of the first times that I was ever in England, and he has a couple phrases that he'll say that are super like over the top British. Like one of them is like he'll go like, oh, what a day. Or like one of them is something that like British people will do where they'll be like just having a good time, and then like they'll go like way after, like while they're all like in a group having a good time. But I had always heard him do this like ironically, like to like kind of like to be funny, and then I heard it and I like saw it in real life, and it was like British lad culture on a train in real time, and I was like, this is so interesting to me, just like people being super very loud, because you can also like drink in public there, so they were having a good time, and they were just going like, way. Yeah, it was an interesting experience.
Recently, I was in this place, and there was these two workers, and they were working on something. I can't remember what it was, but evidently one of them was getting very aggravated with whatever the other one was doing, and I just heard him go, "No, I said no." And I mean, it was like he just let him have it, and it just made everybody jump that was around, and I don't know, everybody kind of laughed, and it was funny, like, but just these two disgruntled workers and one of them just let loose. So that was funny.
I love people watching in public. I feel like that's one of my favorite things to do, and watch, like, particularly like observing like other people's family dynamics, and like that sounds really creepy. I probably shouldn't admit that I
No. I'm about to up it and go with you even further. No.
Okay.
So one of my favorite things to do is watch people and then make up stories for them based on their body language, facial expressions.
Like a good time.
Like it's fun.
Yeah.
Like it is fun. Yeah. I was watching this, was up at the top of Crabtree Falls, and along the way, like you can look down and see other people coming up the trail, and was just making up stories for like the one person that was really excited and happy to be there, and the other person that was just miserable and hated it. Because I mean, you're just going straight up. I don't know if you've ever been.
I have. It's a tough hike.
It can be. Yeah. And so I like to make up stories for what I imagine them doing, or going by, like driving by someone on the interstate, imagining where they're going, what they're doing, and like coming up with a fun little short story for it.
I like to do that on planes, like that. I think that's because I don't do that usually, but on the people that I'm next to on planes, I'm like, I wonder what they're up to. I wonder where they're going. Yeah, maybe because I have to sit for so long. But yeah,
no. Once my mind gets going, I enjoy watching people as well.
Yeah, it's a good time.
So, food combination that you love but others might find strange.
Oh, I genuinely don't think that I have one. I'm kind of a picky eater, and I lean a lot more towards like simple foods. I like The only thing that's weird that I do love, I don't really think it's weird, but other people might. I like cut up, like diced up raw tomatoes on top of like a cheesy pasta. But like that's not that weird.
No.
It's just delicious. It's just a random thing to do.
I like to mix peas in with spaghetti.
Like spaghetti, like normal spaghetti?
Yes, like spaghetti, like with a meat
marinara.
sauce.
Okay.
Yeah. But like not while it's cooking, but like after the fact. Like so, like I will heat up peas in a pot on the stove, cook the spaghetti separate, plate them together, and then just mix it all up.
Interesting.
I think it's fantastic.
I don't feel like that would taste weird at all.
I've not really seen a whole lot of folks do it out in the wild.
I have put broccoli into like a spaghetti sauce thingy because I was making dinner one time and it was like a what do I have kind of a situation, like just throw it in a skillet and figure it out.
Yeah.
And I had some frozen meatballs, some jarred like spaghetti sauce, and then I was like, I really need a vegetable, but I don't want to have to like dirty another dish. So I was like, whatever, and I just put some broccoli into the mix, and it ended up being
go?
It was pretty good. I liked it.
Did it smell okay? Because broccoli has a
I think broccoli is one of my favorite vegetables to eat in general. So
I like
I
it.
probably just wouldn't ever be mad about it. But no, I thought it was good. And I've done that with green beans too. I've added marinara sauce to green beans. So maybe
Okay.
I do have more.
You have a couple. Like,
Weird
let's just
food
keep
combinations.
unpacking. What else do you do?
That's pretty much it. Once I find something that works, I'll just keep eating it until I get sick of it.
So I also like mixing sweet and sour sauce and honey mustard and dipping fries or nuggets in there.
Like any particular places or store, like brands.
I mean,
sweet
I
and sour sauce
first
and
I
honey
first learned of it whenever I worked at McDonald's in high school. So I really liked that, but I mean, I haven't. Well, I don't know if I have like a particular brand of it, but no, honey mustard and sweet and sour sauce, like a 50-50 of each.
Interesting.
Like mix up, you got something there. That's pretty good.
Sounds very good.
I'd give it a go.
I don't know that I would, but I mean, I might do like a little pinky dip in a little.
Yeah,
Just to, like, taste
I think you'd be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Okay. It's basically sugar, anyways. It couldn't be that
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, you're just eating high fructose corn syrup. Like it'll be okay.
Yep. Okay. Let's transition our questions to goal specific.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am.
What's a goal that you failed at within the first week?
Let's see. I've failed at so many goals over the years. I'm sure everybody can everybody can relate. I can't be the only one. I remember once I was going to I hadn't ran in forever. Like I used to be a runner. Like I used to run a lot before I got flesh-eating disease and had all those surgeries. I used to very much enjoy running. That was one of my favorite things to do. And I decided one day, you know what? I'm just going to get up and I'm going to run 5 miles every day. Yeah, that first, I failed the first day.
Nice.
I got maybe, I mean, I hadn't done it in years. And, my leg was not what it used to be. My body was not what it used to be. and I failed probably within, like, I don't know, 400 meters. And was just like, like, I'm dying. And walked right back to the house and was like, oh, that's that. So that's one I failed literally on the first day.
Did you like finish your 5 miles walking, or were you just like?
Oh no, I was done.
Okay.
I was winded. I was dying. My body was angry and screaming. My legs were like, "What are you doing?" It's like my. There's a Family Guy clip where Peter was going to go out and he was going to hit a ball like he was playing baseball, and he went to sprint to first, and his body like telephoned his brain and said, "What is he doing?" And his brain said, "He's attempting to sprint." and his buddy goes, he hasn't drank anything. He told his wife that there was water in the hot dogs. I've had no choice but to call for a full shutdown. and pulled a lever, and Peter just fell on the ground.
Nice.
That was pretty. I was that close to that on that. Whenever I started running.
Nice.
And so, yeah, day one fail.
Hey, at least you got out there.
Yes. I bought a pair of shoes. I was ready to go.
You started the run instead of just saying that you were going to run.
Yes.
That's something.
I love the spin you're putting on it. I appreciate it. What about you?
I think pretty much every goal that I have ever set for myself, I've failed at within the first week. Like, I am, notoriously, horrible at achieving goals that I set. So I'm trying to shift my perspective more so to even if I don't make the goal, at least I am at least I'm not gonna skip 2 days.
Yes.
Or at least I'm not gonna miss one goal. So there's some things where I think that I've maybe made it I'm sure that I've made it past a week before. I just did a stint of 75 days at the end of last year where I had some stuff and I made it through all of that except for there were a couple days in there where I had some stuff pop up and I wasn't able to do it, but I made it past a week. But most things, more often than not, I am going to fail within the first week, and I am that's my lot in life right now, and I'm trying to change it. I think it's because I have always leaned more towards, when I was younger, very, very unrealistic goals. Fix everything all at once, across the board. I want to do this over here, and this over here, and this over here, and this over here. And it's very scatterbrained, and it's too much for any one person to fix at once. So I think I will continue to see more success in my goal making as I continue to be more smart about how I make goals in the first place. So.
Yeah, looking back at that, I realized that was a massively ambitious and not really realistic goal. Yeah, and so that was an eye opener for if I actually want to accomplish this, I probably need to start look at where I want to go. And then just start working backwards on how to actually get there. Yeah. And so we'll talk a little bit about that as we go. But what is a goal that you've achieved that you are proud of?
Yeah, I would say the end of last year I did 75 days straight of taking a 45-minute walk every day, which there were some days that I wasn't able to do it, but the fact that I kept up with reminding myself to keep going for the full 75 days. I think I also had joined it with journaling. So it was two different things that I wanted to make sure that I had done every single day. And they're both things that I love doing all the time. There's certain days in my week that are harder for me to find little portions of time to be able to get things done that I want to get done. So I've never been able to be consistent daily. And that was really what I was trying to work on, was getting more consistent daily with something instead of just a weekly, looking at my week and trying to have a couple days break in between, stuff like that. So I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of there's a lot of stuff that I'm really good at being consistent in, but there are things that come very naturally to me. The things that don't come naturally to me, I can be very inconsistent in, and that's what I'm trying to work on some more. So,
and that's where making it a discipline really comes in. I think for me was my master's degree. I think going back to school and getting that was an ambitious goal for me, and it would have been easy to quit a couple times along the way, and I did take a step back for about 3 months there whenever I had just some life changes that came up, but getting back into it and finishing it was something that I'm actually proud of. One of these days I might get it actually framed. Right now it's in a box in a closet, but I would like to put that up somewhere at
That'd
some
be cool.
point. But no, I'm proud of that from Liberty. Yeah.
Nice. That's exciting.
So transition us to where we're going.
So we have a message clip that's actually gonna kind of set us up for thinking about goals through the lens of our spiritual lives, and why including God in on our goals and letting him speak into that can be very impactful to us. So we're gonna check out this clip from Brian Hughes.
There are two kinds of goals. There are man-made goals and there are divinely inspired goals. Man-made and divinely inspired. Now, purely man-made goals, which give no consideration to the heart of God or the will of God, or make no attempt to consult with God or align my life with God, they necessarily then become independent of God. They are independent of God. So can a man-made goal succeed? Maybe. And is it inherently, automatically, because it's a man-made goal, is it a bad goal? Not necessarily. You can live your life by making up your own goals. And that's what most people do. You can do that. And they might do some good for you, and they might do some good for others around them, and you might actually achieve those goals. But making up your own goals is like shooting in the dark at best. It's completely blind, or at least nearly completely blind, because all kinds of things are right around the corner, good things and not so good things, and you can't see them. You have no idea what's coming, but God does. So there are man-made goals, and then, if we can keep this monitor working for 5 minutes, we'll interpret no spiritual context into the blinking monitor. Then there are divinely inspired goals. Divinely inspired goals are the ones that look to God. They seek out God. They pursue God. They trust God, so that I'm traveling a path that targets the same goal God wants me to target. Proverbs 16:9 says, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. In other words, if you want to achieve your goals, you can't make up your goal without divine input to your goal. Are you with me? Better still, your goal should be God's goal for you, not your dream for yourself.
I think what Brian was saying there was really, really apt. And, one of the things that we need to do is invite God in to speak into what we want to do. So that way it shows that we're seeking to follow his will for where we want to go with the near future and the far off future as well. Yeah. And there's lots of goals that people come up with, especially this time of year. Like they're going to start going to church more. They're going to, read 10 chapters of the Bible read 10 chapters of the Bible a day, which might be ambitious, especially depending upon where you start and the type of Bible that you have. So one of the things that we want to do is just kind of go over what we're looking to do this year and how we are hoping to accomplish those goals. So two of the goals that I have, I've been kind of working on this writing project. It's about rooting your identity in Christ. It's about dealing with your guilt and shame and making peace with your past. So I've been kind of writing it here and there. It's a way for me to help deal with a lot of my stuff. If you don't know it, you've got stuff too that we all need to work through. And so I think that this is a healthy way. It's come out of conversations that I've had in counseling and also with one of our spiritual formation people here, Beth Stoddard. And it's just things that God has revealed to me over time that I thought maybe had been dealt with that maybe I haven't fully dealt with. So that's one of the ways that I've been seeking to do that. But it's kind of been scattershot here and there. Like I might write one or two devotionals things here and maybe one or two here. And so I really feel like after really praying about what God wants me to do this year, I really feel this is what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to use what's called the SMART goal thing. So SMART is an acronym. It means the S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relevant, and T is for time bound. So it's a very focused thing. So specific just means your goal is clear, and focused, measurable is like, how are you going to measure what you're doing? Like, if you want to repeat something and it's something that matters to you, you should probably be measuring it. A is for achievable, like, what is the goal? What is it that you're seeking to achieve? Is this even a realistic goal for you? Or do you need to narrow it or scale it back some? R is for relevant. Why does this matter? So this is something that you need to these are questions that you need to answer as you're setting your goal. And then T is for time bound, like, when are you going to actually do it?
That's cool.
So for mine, it's write 5 devotionals a week. For this daily devotional project on rooting your identity in Christ, dealing with guilt, shame, and making peace with the past. Like, that's the specific thing that I'm trying to do. How is it going to be measured? Well, if I actually complete the 5 devotionals a week, then that's the measurement. Is it? Or have I done the 5? How am I going to do this? I'm going to allocate time each week on specific days to focus solely on this writing. Relevant. Why is this relevant to me? This aligns with the goals of completing the devotional to help myself deal with my issues in a healthy way. I mean, if I'm a healthier me, then, I win, kids win, everybody wins.
Yeah.
And my time for this is to make this a habit during the first quarter of 2025. So between the beginning of January here and the end of March, hopefully this is a habit now.
Okay.
So,
cool.
I'll be able to look back at the end of the quarter and say, did I do this? Instead of saying I'm going to do it for the whole year. Like, make it a quarterly review.
Yeah.
So that way I don't get discouraged, if I don't hit it by April or February or whatever. I'm like, okay, clearly soured there. What went wrong?
Yeah.
What was it that kept me from doing it? And then I reevaluate then and say, okay, these are the changes that I might need to make.
I like that approach of basically giving yourself a window of like, maybe like a scheduled time of like reevaluation at some point along the way of like, is this still working? Could I tweak it in some way? Is there something on my heart that I feel like it could shift into that's like a different habit? Like maybe you're realizing, okay, what is helpful for me isn't necessarily writing out the devotionals. Maybe it's all of the prep work and the outline for it gets me where I need to go, but I don't need to do all of the long writing.
Yes.
Like giving yourself a chance to evaluate and tweak things as you go. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
No, I didn't want to put it on for a whole year.
Yeah.
Like, give yourself a time to scale back, but then answering these questions. I mean, just going through and answering the questions also helped to narrow down what it was and how I was going to do it. The other one is exercise 5 days a week. The specific thing that I want to, exercise 5 days a week to improve physical health and well-being. How am I going to measure it? Same thing. Like, did I actually exercise 5 days a week using the workouts that on the app that I downloaded? How am I going to achieve this? By planning workouts around my schedule. So look at my schedule for the week. Okay, here's when I'm going to do it. Here's when I'm going to do it. Here's when and like plugging it into my calendar that we all live by here at church.
You've built in the organization of how to achieve your goal as part of the goal itself.
Yes.
Like, not only is your goal to exercise 5 days a week, but now your goal is to find the time to be able to exercise 5 days a week.
And that's where the achievable part comes into it. Like, because you have to answer the question, how are you going to achieve it?
Yeah.
And then why is this relevant? Because staying active supports my physical and emotional health. And then same thing, make this a habit during the first quarter of 2025. And so if it's not working, why isn't it working? And then you go back and you go through the questions again. So that's how I'm looking at goals for 2025 this year.
That's cool. I like it. I'm similar with you in the way that I'm approaching this year with quarterly, or I'm not going to tie myself to quarterly. I'm doing quarterly, so I'll kind of reevaluate at the end of March and see maybe I need to do more like monthly and then reevaluate. I'm not sure yet, but my approach for this year, and I've done it before, where I have like an overarching like word for the year. Theme maybe like so right this year my goal is to focus on improving my consistency, like in all areas of my life, like in my relationships with my friends, in my relationship with my husband, and how I take care of myself in my personal life, and how I perform at work, just to be more consistent. I feel like I am very inconsistent sometimes, and I also have gotten feedback from people in my close circle that I am inconsistent.
Okay.
So like to the point where I've had like we sit around here sometimes and have conversations with people where we do strengths and weaknesses
Yes.
with each other, which is where when you have people that you're safe with, and you know that you're safe, they will share with you what they think your strength is, and then what they think your weakness is, and it can be very.
And it's not just rando people; it's people that you're actually around and interact with on the
they
reg.
know you. They're not picking on you. It's purely
Yes.
for the sake of they want you to become the best version of yourself.
Yes.
So they are going. And you're also inviting it. So it's not like I've been bullied into this. It's genuinely like they've
You
helped.
sit down.
They've literally, as like, because it's a circle of people who will do it for you, and when it's the same weakness with every person, it's like, oh, okay. And I like every time I was like, yeah, I know. So one of the pieces of feedback that I got in my strengths and weaknesses was my weakness was that sometimes they don't know what Madison that they're gonna get, and I was like, bro, I don't know what Madison I'm gonna get when I wake up in the morning. And so I'm like, I'm with you on that. I know that. So I'm working on my consistency, particularly with how I take care of myself. I think because I have ADHD, so I lean a lot into very all or nothing, which is why I think I've really struggled with goals in the past, because it's either the only thing on my mind and I'm hype and focused about it and it's everything all at once and I'm fixing my life, or I have just forgotten because I saw something in the corner over there. So it's something I'm working on. So my theme for the year is consistency. I really want to keep working on that. What I'm focused on this quarter in particular is more about how I take care of myself and how I treat other people. So I will have some more specific goals for my career and my marriage and all of that, but I'm starting small, and I'm starting with continuing, I guess. I'm continuing my 45-minute walk every day. That's just really, really good for my mental health. It makes me feel like a human, and it's easy for me to stick to a goal when it's easy for me to see why it's so good for me.
Yes.
So when I step outside and get to feel the sun on my face, even if it's cold outside, because right now it's really cold outside.
Yes.
But if I get to step out there and feel the sun on my face, and even if it's not sunny, and I get to just see, branches waving in the breeze, like it's easy for me to say, okay, this is good for me. So I can continue to do this. And every time that I did it before the full 45-minute walk every day, it was just like I got to go to bed and put my head on a pillow and say, like, I'm really proud of myself because I did something that it's hard to slow down for 45 minutes because it's not a workout. You're not in there listening to hype music and like getting pumped up, and like I like working out in that style too, but this is a slowed down version where you're taking the time, you're blocking out distractions. Sometimes I would listen to audiobooks, sometimes I would just listen to worship music, sometimes I would challenge myself to not listen to anything. It was more about just the consistency of doing it. So I'm gonna continue with that. I'm going to continue with journaling every day, particularly the last time that I challenged myself to do this for 75 days straight. There were some nights where my journaling was, I'm really tired, but I still have to journal. So this is me journaling, and this is what happened, and blah, 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 like very short and brief. I would like to challenge myself more with my writing skills. So I think I would like to do my journaling this year more like record keeping of what's going on in my life. Because sometimes you can do the journaling that's let me get really deep and emotional about everything that's in my brain, and that can be helpful. I want to remember what's going on in my day. I want to know.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
I can look back
yeah.
on it later and know, what did I do? Who did I spend time with? How did I feel that day? Less about like, I'm so sad and I'm so like I'm in despair, or
Dear
I'm
diary, I find myself.
yeah, because that's in the past. That's where I've always gone with journaling. Is like I lean on it when I'm in rough seasons of my life as a way to express a lot of feelings and get them off my chest. And I also will often journal out prayers to God, and so it's more like wrestling with stuff. I wanna kind of challenge myself to just record what's going on in a way that will be really fun to look back on in the future, hopefully. And then my last goal for this quarter is I want to push myself to do one nice thing for other people. I'm not really putting parameters on it. That might be something that I evaluate at the end of the 3 months if I need more like rules or structure around it. But I think when my schedule gets really busy, it's really easy for me to spend all of my mental energy on what I have to get done, and also the people who aren't in my inner circle that I should be doing the most for, that I want to be doing the most for. So the one nice thing outward will be more focused on my inner circle, my close group of people that I want to take care of well. I want to show them how much they mean to me and how much I care about them. So it could be an encouraging note. It could be a surprise gift. Like the other day, I surprised my coworker here, Ben. He also has ADHD, and he's constantly moving. And he and I, we both really like fidget toys. So I found a really cool fidget toy, and I was just like, cool. Here's my surprise for you. And he had it like on his finger for the rest of the day, and he was just playing with it. So that's like a small example of something that I would like to grow in. So I felt like I just talked a lot.
No, those are all fantastic.
Yeah.
Those are all fantastic goals, and you outlined the reasons why they're important to you. And I think that's a great, having the proper motivation and the reasons why, I think are the key things that will help people stay focused on their goals.
Yeah. I think too, sharing them is so is helps kind of solidify, like knowing first of all how to like keep up with the people that are around you and help them keep up with their goals, and ask them to help you keep up with yours as some form of accountability, but also just like actually speaking them out loud.
Yes.
I feel like is a way to start solidifying that choice in your mind. And so yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited this year to kind of free myself up even more of the need to keep them the same, like allowing myself the freedom to reevaluate and tweak them as I go, I think is going to keep me excited about them in the first place, because it'll be more like a science experiment.
Yes, that was one of the key reasons why I wanted to give myself, instead of just saying this is what I'm going to do for the entire year, this is what I'm going to do for the next 3 months.
Yeah.
Circle back, say, okay, does this work? Do I even want to continue with this? Are there changes that need to be made? So that way you don't just feel, I failed. No, you hit your 3 month. Yeah. You did the 3 months. Yeah. Now let's reevaluate.
Yeah, or it could even be like hey, is this a habit now, and I can add a new goal into the mix? Yes. Like, is this is going good now? Can I shift gears a little bit? I feel like that'll be really exciting to be able to do.
And I think whatever it is that you choose to do, pray on it beforehand. Invite God into it. Ask Him, is this something, God, I'm looking for direction here. Put yourself in a position, practice whatever disciplines that you have where you put yourself, a spiritual discipline is nothing more than putting yourself in a position to be grown by God. Yeah. And so whatever that looks like for you, if that's time in the Word, if that's, one of the things I still like to do is, God, I present myself as an empty vessel for your Holy Spirit. I come to hear from you now, and then I just shut up, and just sit there and just let whatever comes to the surface, and then take it before him and talk about it, think about it, all those things. Whatever it is, go to God with it, talk to him about it, see if that's his will for you, if his direction for you, and then if you feel convicted, invite some other people to give feedback into it that you trust, and say, yeah, this is what I think God is prompting me to do. What do you think about this? Do all of those things, and then if you feel like this is something God's prompting you to do, pick some sort of, whether it's Madison's way of setting goals or my way of setting goals, just pick a goal and start working towards it.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'll go wrong there.
Yeah, and if you want to share any of those goals with us, we would love to hear them.
Absolutely. And you can ask us how we're doing on ours as well.
Be fun.
So we'll put the smart stuff in the notes and anything else. I think this was a good episode to get us going.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right.
It'll be a good year.
So thank you for joining us. Leave us a review. We will get you a mug. And we'll see you back next week for another episode of The After Chat.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for The After Chat. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To be the first to hear our next episode, be sure to hit the subscribe button and get notifications for new content. You can also follow us on social media on Instagram at PCC Wired and Facebook at Passion Community Church. For additional resources and links, check out the description. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on The After Chat.